Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to project 2, topic 5. Now in this topic, I'm going to be finalizing the views and we're actually going to be taking out renders over here. We have done all the setups of the lights as well as of the settings, material settings, everything what was needed, we did it. And now we'll take out a couple of renders. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to simply click on sunlight and disable that for now. And I'm going to finally go and take out one more interactive render just to see how it's looking without the sunlight. So we can actually have a look at that. This is basically how it's going to look without the sunlight, and this is basically when you're taking out a night view for the entire thing. Now as you guys can see, we can actually have a look at something which is being seen behind over here. So for another suggestion, what I think you guys really can do for this particular portion over here, and you can see the sunlight is actually coming in from here as well. If you do not want direct light to come in, you can actually put up the same way how I've put out lights over here. You can actually put them over here as well. But I really think this looks nice for with one without any of the lights. So we can actually take out final renders of all of these particular areas. And if you definitely want with a daytime render where only the sunlight is actually playing action off, so what I would suggest is you'll actually have to kind of shut down all of these spotlights which we have over here. So we can just quickly go ahead and do that, switch off all the spotlights that were on over here. You can see I've actually made a slight change, so we'll actually see this happen over here in a while. Let it just get taken care of. I'm going to actually enable the sunlight over here as well. And what we can do is we can actually stop all of these and actually go back now for another render. Let me just kind of change the scene to scene 3 so that we can actually see that change happening over here. Now this is basically what's going to look like when it's a daytime render, when we have the sunlight just kind of falling in, kind of giving that very natural feel altogether. But if you guys really feel like you want to have a little bit more light in the room, I'm going to tell you a very nice way to do this. And that's a very again, it's another kind of a manipulation that we're going to be doing. We're actually going to have to take the rectangular light and create out a full rectangle all the way from this wall, just like that, all the way. We're going to go ahead and create one till here, something like this. And this is going to be the lighting that is kind of showing up to us all the time. Let's just go back to scene 3. And what happens over here is you can see all this light actually livens up the whole room altogether. And what we're going to do is we're simply going to go to this light and kind of just hide it. And that's basically not disable it. Make sure it's not disabled, but make sure it is invisible. In options you'll get invisible. So once it's invisible, you can actually see that the room is bright. At the same time we have light coming in, and this really kind of portrays out a very good view altogether. So once you guys have sorted this out, I really think you guys would like this suggestion. I really like it too, because we get a lot of light coming here. I think we can reduce the intensity of it slightly, just so that it looks like an afternoon, not like a very bright day also. We can just set a very slight orange tone to this whole thing so that it looks like the sunlight is affecting it all together. Now once you guys are happy with that, you can see the emissivity of all of these things can also be kind of shut down for a day render. So let me just quickly go ahead and shut those down. Let me just go back to generic with a nice reflection to it, as well as this back to just generic with maybe this color with a tinge of white only in it, something like that. And we can just stop this and go back for an interactive render, because things are now getting very heavy. So this is the kind of render which I'm going to take for the daytime render, definitely. As you can see, this looks really nice with all the lights switched off, and it's only the natural light which is actually playing a very big role in it. So a couple of things which I would want to do is, first in the settings, make sure that the camera over here has a couple of depth of field and focus setup points. So again, the focal point definitely is going to be this chair. As you can see, I'm setting up this chair to be the focal point, and definitely you can defocus and focus it according to what you want. The entire white balance here, I'm going to let it be at white itself, and you can actually see if I change this to 1424, we're actually going to get, so 14.24, that's actually what we're gonna get. I can, you know, increase that over here just to something around 12, so we actually have a very nice bright room over here. Let's maybe just keep it 13 and see how it goes. I think this too looks nice. If you guys are happy with this, you can actually have a couple of more changes done to it if you're looking, you know, something just like that. I think this looks really nice, just a little warm light that we have done. And I'm actually going to go back into our reflected light over here and kind of just increase the intensity of the whole thing, just so that the room starts to look a little bit more brighter, yet the entire thing is invisible, so it's going to actually look very nice. And once we actually finalized with the whole render what we want, we can just do the final settings for the render output. So as I told you guys, 1920 is the best and 1080 is perfect, what we need. And definitely switch this off, keep this at high render itself, switch off progressive also. We can simply stop these and go in for one final render, and that can be even this one over here, or this one, or even this one, or even this one. So let's kind of go for something which is, you know, showcasing a lot of everything. So I would even suggest for scene 2, because scene 2 also looks really good. Something like this, just above. Maybe we make a little change in the scene altogether. Maybe just have it something like this. I think this is very nice. And we can just add this one over here. This is something which I like, so I'm going to go ahead for this. And let's just go back and take out a render. And that's basically, guys, how you are going to kind of finalize your render for the day as well as for the night, and then kind of just go ahead and give a click to get that final render to come out. And I'll be talking about how we can change this background towards the end once this render is done. So I'm just going to let this happen.